Alright, hello everyone. This is Thanos Zeus. I am completely new to this website, so I come to show you a few things I made in Stormworks, namely this locomotive right here, which is an F40PH with a Metra paint job on it. So I want to show you a few things like starting it up and other few key features in the cab. So let's head on over into the cab. So this is about realistic looking controls in here. Some of these are not assigned, so I just mark them with not assigned, NA. So I'm gonna start the locomotive by simply pressing this button right here, and the screen shows you the data the engine control unit is showing. And I will show head end power once I go through the engineer controls. So these two levers are the two brake levers. The top one is the air brakes or the automatic brakes. I simply base the air brake system off the lack of air pressure. So the lack of air pressure is basically measuring the amount of air pressure in the brake pipe. So the brake pipe has around 91 bar, or I should say 91 Stormworks bars. And then when I drain all the air out of that system, the brakes are fully applied. And then this bottom lever here, marked as throttle lever because I forgot to name it, is the independent brake lever, which affects the brakes directly and only affects the brakes on the locomotive, whereas the auto brakes only affects the brakes throughout an entire train. This breaker right here turns on the lights that illuminate the signs. This is the horn. It probably needs a little work. This is the throttle down here with a notch system. And it already has a reverser integrated into it. So if I turn the brakes off, if I notch up one, it tells me an indicator tells me I'm going forward. I'll brake real quick and stop the train. Then if I notch down for notch 0, that means I'm going one notch in reverse. And then these two buttons are the front headlight cycles. So if you press this one twice, it will turn on the high beams on the locomotive, the main headlights. If I press this one more time, it turns on the tail lights of the locomotive. And then if I press it one more time, everything just turns off. This does not have a function yet. The horn works, the bells really turn on alternating ditch lights because there's no actual sound, there's no actual block in the game that makes a sound effect of a diesel bell. And then all these flip switches do nothing. And then finally for the head end power controls, I turn this switch and I start. For those of you who's heard it and knows what F40PH sounds like, this has a little similar sound to it once it's head end power. Once it's head end power is a similar sound to an actual F40PH almost. Then to shut off the locomotive, I press stop here. It'll go back down to low idle. I turn this off. Neither of these do anything either, since I recently reworked everything on the locomotive. And then I can just turn this off. And I just use independent brakes for when the train is inactive. So, and another thing about this locomotive, this is a frame. The frame of this locomotive was taken from somewhere else. The frame is by enzocats. the Steam Workshop. The frame is by enzocats. This is basically the same frame from Metra paint job, and I added my own machinery and controls and logic. And in the process, I kept the controls simpler, because it's always better to keep it simple. And that's it for my locomotive showcase. So goodbye.